morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Great, excellent. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. My name's Todd Sharp, and this session is about live streaming from a MetaQuest with Unity to Amazon IVS and Twitch. So we'll go ahead and get started right now. Speaking of right now, currently, at this very moment, 2.5 million people are watching Twitch. If we rewind time a little bit and we look back into the past, based on the latest published numbers, in 2022, 1.3 trillion minutes were watched on Twitch. Every day, 35 million people visit twitch.tv and watch a live stream. If we look at it at the monthly basis, every single month, 7 million unique streamers go live on twitch.tv. So my question to you is, what percentage of those live streams are truly interactive? Typically, it's somebody who hooks their PC up to OBS and they start broadcasting their game, or they hook up their mobile phone and they stream their camera, things like that. Does anybody remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Twitch Plays Pokemon? So Twitch Plays Pokemon holds the Guinness World Record for having the most participants on a single-player online video game with almost 1.2 million participants. It was launched in 2014, so over 10 years ago. It's still going today. And it became just ridiculously popular at launch with an average concurrent viewership of over 80,000 viewers, and over 10% of those were participating. So 8,000 people were actually participating in the game. The initial experiment, they totaled 55 million views during the initial experiment. And it's, in fact, still running today. I logged on 20 minutes ago. There's 103 people watching Twitch Plays Pokemon and playing Twitch Plays Pokemon this morning. And this is the kind of interactivity that I'm talking about. This is the kind of interactivity the numbers I just read to you are obvious, makes it clear that this is wildly popular, right? People love this form of interaction with a live stream. They drive to it. So my question is, why have we not had another Twitch Plays Pokemon? Yeah, there's been a couple smaller games that have this sort of interactivity, but what's the barrier to that? We're going to look at that today, and I really, really, really want to encourage you all as developers to really embrace this form of streaming and entertainment and gameplay, and bring this into your games. So what can interactive live streaming do for your community? We just talked about some of that, but essentially we're talking about growing your community, growing your player base, creating unique experiences with this interactivity, really taking your game and turning it into something that has infinite playability. I'm Todd Sharp. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. I was unfortunately born a Cleveland Browns fan. I live currently in rural Georgia with my wife, my son, my daughter, 9 chickens, 2 dogs, and a cat. Used to have a pig, but unfortunately he passed away about a year ago. But I am a developer advocate. I sometimes don't like that term because I'm more of a developer. I've always thought of myself as a developer. I've been writing software for 20 plus years. Most of that time, all of that time, has been focused on web dev, and that's why I'm a little intimidated to speak to some of you brilliant minds in this room, because I'm not a game dev. I've got about 9 months of quote-unquote game dev under my belt. I've been playing around with this demo in some various forms for the last about 9 months. But I'm currently employed by Twitch, and I live in this really strange world where I'm employed by Twitch, but I actually work on an AWS service. And that service is called Amazon Interactive Video Service. So what is Amazon Interactive Video Service? Has anyone ever heard of Amazon IVS? No? One. Okay. Well, Thomas. Amazon IVS is an AWS service that allows developers to create their own interactive live streaming experiences. Basically, it is a service that runs on the same network and infrastructure as Twitch and allows you to build your own experiences like this. We have 3 different major capabilities in the service, the first of which is called low latency live streaming, And this typically has about 2 to 5 seconds of latency from glass to glass. In other words, my camera to your screen. It's about 2 to 5 seconds. It can handle 1 million plus viewers concurrently on a single channel, and you can have infinite number of channels in your tenancy. And it can stream at up to 1080p. So that 1 million plus numbers, that may sound a little like inflated to you, that may sound like a load test kind of we proved at one time, but that's actually true. In fact, the current unofficial record was set last July in Spain, and I believe it was around 3.3 million concurrent live viewers on a live stream. It was for a major like fighting event in Spain, and so it's literally true.
And it's multi-platform?
Meaning?
Connected devices, mobile, laptop?
Sure, absolutely. Yep. The next major feature is, of course, chat, because what live stream would be any good without chat, right? I mean, chat kind of is like the peanut butter to the chocolate of live streaming. IVS chat is WebSocket based. We're looking at 100 milliseconds of end-to-end latency. Again, it can handle 1 million plus concurrent chatters and delivers up to 100 messages a second. The third feature capability, the third piece of the Triforce in Amazon IVS is real-time streaming. And this is WebRTC based, around 250 milliseconds of latency. That's our like marketing claim for that, but I've seen it as low as like 50 to 100 milliseconds of latency. Really depends on network conditions and various other factors. But this handles up to 10,000 viewers and delivers up to 720p, right? Because when you're thinking about live streaming, there's so much data and there's so far it has to travel and there's only so much bandwidth. So we have to kind of trade something off. You either have a little more latency and a little better quality, or a lot less latency and a little lower quality. But when you're talking about the main use cases for this, typically the 720p is not really a huge factor. So the future is real time. Real time will enable you to create those Twitch Plays Pokemon type experiences in your application and allow you to add that next level interactivity into your games. Twitch Plays Pokemon, I think the main reason why it really works really well is because it's turn-based, right? You know, it's a turn-based battle game where it's not, you don't have to constantly control your player. One player gets a turn, they, choose their attack, and then the next player chooses their attack, and so on and so forth. So that's not real time, really. It may kind of feel like it is, but it's not really real time. Wow, I am going slower than I thought I would. So why do people live stream? Let's get this, let's kind of run through this, right? Some of us, raise your hand if you are, some of us are social creatures, right? Some of us aren't, but some people like to really stream and share their passions for games or food or travel or sports. Some people like to educate people on things like politics, talk shows, those kind of things. Other people live stream to build their community or brand awareness. I do a weekly live stream every week on the AWS Twitch channel where I talk about Amazon IVS, and that's helping build the brand awareness, but at the same time, just interacting with my community, talking to developers, learning what they're working on. And other people do it to interact, engage, and share experiences. We call it a lean forward experience. Traditional broadcast TV is a lean back experience, right? You're on your couch, you kick back, you put your feet up, and you're passively consuming the entertainment. Whereas live streaming is a lean forward experience. Why? Because you lean forward in your chair and you're typing on that keyboard and you're interacting with other chatters, you're interacting with the streamer. It's an active form of consumption that is really unique to many forms of entertainment. Where else can you type in, hey, there's a treasure chest up on that mountain, and the streamer actually goes, whoa, hey, thanks, Todd. I didn't see that. You really helped me out. That's like the coolest feeling for some people, to be able to actually impact the entertainment. Why do people watch live streams? Same reasons that people do live streaming themselves: to be entertained, to be educated, to be part of a community. That's a big one. That's a huge one. Now, these lists aren't all entirely exhaustive, like complete lists, but these are the ones that I think are the most important. Interact, engage. So I said earlier, 7 million people unique streamers go live every month. My question is, how do we get to 70 million? How do we get to 700 million? And I think the first thing we have to recognize is that there's a wall that is kind of placed up when it comes to live streaming. There's a little bit of a barrier to entry. Has anybody ever live streamed? Do you use OBS? Do you use something? Is that easy to set up?
No.
It's not terrible, but it's a barrier, right? It's something you have to learn. If you're a console gamer like I am, you have to get a capture card. That's not cheap. You have to figure out how to set that up. Oh, I also want to do my webcam. Well, how do I do that? It's not easy to get started with live streaming. There's a wall, I think. So how do we break down that wall? Well, the point of this talk. I think if we integrate live streaming directly into our games, in this case, I'm going to show you Unity, I think we could really kind of break down that wall and also at the same time add some really cool interactivity that makes our game experiences unique and really grows our community and our player base. So this is the Amazon IVS logo, but my point is Unity to IVS or also to Twitch. So I want to play a game. We have a little bit of time. Now, quick disclaimer, again, I'm not a game developer, and I'm especially not an XR developer. You all are experts in that. And so I hope you'll forgive me that this particular demo right here is not a VR type game on a headset, but it is built in Unity, and all the same libraries are available in Unity, and I do have a demo of that if we can get to that in time. So we're going to quickly play this game. So if you all want to scan this, or anybody wants to scan this QR code and go to that website, I will warn you, please lower your volume because it'll be kind of loud when I start the demo. But go into full screen once you get there. Actually, click join and then go into full screen. And you'll see some controls on your screen that will allow you to impact my gameplay. So I'm going to launch the game. I guess you're not seeing that. Let me bring that to this monitor then. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's my game. Again, I'm not a game developer, so I downloaded the Unity game demo and I modified it for our purposes here. Is anybody logged in? Can you? Okay, cool. So I'm going to click play and cross my fingers that in just a second or two, you should be able to see the live stream. And if you can, please throw up a hand and let me know.
It says disconnected.
Oh, okay. It kicked you out. That shouldn't happen. Let's try to relaunch the game. Okay. The Wi-Fi is really good in this convention center, isn't it? Let me click play again. And maybe give that a shot. Try to reload the page, maybe. If not, I can run it locally here.
I need to be on the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on the Wi-Fi, so that probably.
Well, I mean, you have to be on the internet.
Okay, I'm on the internet.
Okay. Okay, what I will do then is I will launch the demo in my browser, and I'll put it side by side, no problem. So let me move that to this desktop. All right. So I'm sorry that y'all couldn't join me, but on the left-hand side is my web application. This is a real-time live stream of this game that's on the right-hand side. And as I start driving, you can see that my stream is being streamed to the web application in near real time. I mean, the latency is, again, around that 250 millisecond mark. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. But I think the other things that are really cool about this is the fact that in the top there, you see a multi-camera live stream. So as I drive around the track, that second feed actually changes based on where I am in the track. So you could have things like finish line cameras, right? and you can get your photo finish from, and these are all unique things to the streamer that you can add to your stream to bring value to your live streaming experience. What else can you do? Well, we have chat integrated directly into the game here. So I can actually type a chat message, and in the bottom right-hand corner of my game, my chat messages are displayed there. I can also come to the game, and I can turn on my web camera. And my web camera gets streamed to the game, directly into the game. I can also consume. So I can have a two-player game where both players have their web camera on and they can actually see each other's face in real time and do voice chat, things like that. The really, really cool, my favorite part of this is the fact that with that native WebSocket connection between the viewer and the game player, we can actually spawn elements directly into the game. And if you were all watching this on your screen, one second, you would be able to see that you could spawn this obstacle directly in front of me in real time. So it's not that turn-based waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds for that to happen. You can actually interact in real time like this. So these are the kind of things that I'm talking about. Hop back to the slides. And the question is, of course, how? And to really simplify things, this is all done via a WebRTC plugin in Unity that is available for you today. Essentially, you establish a peer connection, which is a WebRTC construct. You get access to the camera, and whether that's whatever camera you need to get access to, you grab a stream from that camera, you add that to your peer connection, you get all your audio. If you wanted to add a microphone, you could add your microphone here. You create an offer, you set a local session description. I've removed that code just to simplify things here. And you make a request to this endpoint right here, which is the Amazon IVS endpoint that will basically establish a handshake between the game and the live streaming platform. Once you have that, you're done. Actually, I take that back. You do need to get a token. So we have an SDK that allows you to get an authentication token, and you set that as a header in your request, and that authenticates your users, right? So what about XR? Well, we certainly don't have the time to show it. I'd love to show you afterwards, but I do have a demo of this running in a Meta Quest headset that has that same level of interactivity. Also allows me to view other web cameras directly within the game, and again, affect the objectives, affect the environment of the XR game. So you're probably asking yourself, do you want me to create my own streaming platform like Twitch? And my answer is yes, I do. You don't need to create Twitch, first of all. Our SDKs are really easy. They're designed for non-video experts to integrate the video into their application. But the really important part here is you control everything, right? You control, where's my, okay, my bullet points aren't showing up, but you control the branding. You control the monetization. You control the payout subscriptions. You control the community. And you have the ability to build that experience and control that around your game. So you're probably just asking yourself, but I just want to add Twitch streaming. I've had people, many people already this week say that to me. I just want to stream my game to Twitch. It already exists, and please just let me do that. And the cool thing is that you can do that too, actually. And this is a video here. I'll play it real quick. But it's that same demo. I'm pasting in the stream key, but of course you could use the Twitch API to authenticate the user and grab their stream key. And in just a second or two, you can see that it's streaming directly to Twitch, directly from Unity. There is a little bit of latency because it's that 2 to 5 seconds of latency. So you won't be able to get that true real-time interactivity directly from IVS. But if you want to stream directly to Twitch from your Unity game, yes, it is possible. So how do I do that? Essentially, it's really pretty much the same exact code. The only difference is the endpoint, which is shown here. And the other difference is that instead of the authentication token that you use with IVS, you get the user's stream key and you set that as a header. This is WebRTC ingest to Twitch. It's not really, we don't do a good job of telling people that this exists. I don't know why that is, but It does exist, it does work, it is used by Twitch themselves, and it is fully available for you to use today. And if you want to learn more, you can go to this 9-part blog series, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's broken up into different parts to kind of give you the ability to just pick and choose which parts you want to read and which parts you want to learn about. If you want to learn about chat, there's a section on chat. If you want to learn about playback, there's a section on playback, things like that. The last part, part 9, is the Twitch part, so if you want to jump straight to that one and learn how to add Twitch streaming to your game, you could do that. If you want to learn more about Amazon IVS, you can go to ivs.rocks. We have demos, we have GitHub samples, we have a pricing calculator, and you could also, of course, go to the boring landing marketing page on amazon.com if you want to read that kind of stuff. If you want to learn more about the plugins that are used, this is the WebRTC plugin that I use to do the broadcasting and subscribing. The Unity native WebSocket plugin is what I use to connect up the chat and integrate chat. If you want to learn more about this guy, those are my socials and all that good stuff. And with that, I'd like to thank you. Sorry I didn't get to the MetaQuest demo, but if you want to see that, we can hook up later. There's, of course, the blog series where you can see some of that as well, and there's some videos embedded in those posts to show you that. So thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, sure. If there's any questions, we have about 3 minutes, so.
Hi there. I'm Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Also from Cleveland.
From State Farm?
Yeah, from State Farm. But also from Cleveland, from Brecksville.
Okay, I used to live in Medina.
Perfect. Yeah,
Not
right.
far.
Yeah, not far at all. I just had a question about whether Twitch/Amazon is planning on integrating this with other game engines, Unreal, Source, Frostbite, stuff like that.
That's a good question, and the answer to that question is anything that supports WebRTC can do this. I haven't tested Unreal because this laptop is the hard drive is almost full, and Unreal is a gigantic engine. It's like 100 gigs to install that and get it running, and I simply don't have enough space on my hard drive. But anything that supports WebRTC can do this. You would obviously have to modify the examples and kind of plug it into that architecture, but yes, anything that speaks WebRTC can do this. Other questions?
Oh, so number one,
Yeah.
I applaud your bravery for trying to do that demo.
Everyone calls me crazy. I love doing live demos.
That's gutsy. It happens. But yeah, like I was really curious. So if it did work, right, like would we have seen like 8 different people racing at the same time?
No, so that was just the viewer side of things. It's not I didn't set it up as a multiplayer type thing. That's a great idea, though. I should set up a mobile game, but then of course you'd have to actually download the APK or the iOS app and do it that way, and then I'd have to worry about like all the Play Store and App Store panes. But no, you would be able to view, like I showed you the web app on the left side there. You'd be able to view that, and you'd be able to spawn obstacles in my way while I'm driving. So you're a stream viewer, but you're interacting with the game and modifying the game. You could change the track and have me go the long way around by just by clicking a button.
So like maybe I misunderstood. So I was thinking it was like an EC2 instance where you have like Unity set up and then you have a bunch of people dropping in there. And
no, it's not quite that. But there is Luna is the Amazon product I think that you're thinking of. That's more of like the cloud-based gaming. But it's not quite that. It's not like pixel streaming like with Unreal. This is more consuming. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
This might be a bit unrelated, but will this be able to be used as a remote access as well?
So like remote gameplay?
Kind of like remote. We're live streaming just one base.
Like FaceTime type thing?
No, like remote with the latency as well.
I don't think it's quite low enough latency to to support that. It would feel just a little clunky. Even at 250 milliseconds, it would feel a little off. Like you would move your controls and it would just feel like a little too laggy for that.
But would it be possible? Because you gave the viewers access to comment and things like that.
I mean, technically it would be possible, but
Would not be recommended?
it would just feel off. If it was more like a turn-based thing, then yeah, that would be certainly possible, where it's not like you don't need that immediate feedback of your control. Because like I said, there's gonna be that latency. So if you click right or up or down, even that 250 milliseconds would feel just a little too delayed to you to see the character move.
So, but if we are not considering games, more like applications.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you were doing something like, that didn't rely on that fast twitch kind of movement, sure, that would totally be possible. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. This one more? We have time?
You can do one more, yeah.
Hey, thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
With the use of WebRTC, are there any limitations on bitrate resolution? And do we have access to turn those knobs?
Yes. I think 8,500 megabits is 8,500 kilobits is the 8.5 megabits is the max bit rate. And yes, you can tweak that. So you could turn it down, but 8,500 is the max. But that is something you can configure and modify. You could even technically, it's not quite supported yet, but eventually you'll be able to simulcast. So be able to broadcast different resolutions so that your viewers can, right? So if they don't have the network capability to run at full resolution, they'll be able to drop down to 480 or something, which is pretty low, but some networks and devices, that's the best they can handle.
720 is the ceiling?
Today. Today it is. But the other exciting thing, I had a slide in it, but obviously I didn't have time to even get to it, so I took it out. There's exciting things happening in the industry. I'm sure you've all seen some GPUs are capable of like upsampling, basically on the client side, upscaling from 720 to 1080p and beyond. So you never know what's going to happen in the near future. AI, essentially that's AI, right? I mean, it's being able to sample the packets that are coming in and fill in the gaps. And the rate, I made it through a whole session without mentioning AI, so go me. But there you go, there's your AI plug for the talk, so thank you.